What's happening, YouTube? I'm Kevin from Simpledrummer.com. In this video, we're going to be talking about subdivision. Now that's a big word that gets thrown around in a lot of different drumming resources, but do you really know what it means? I'm going to explain what subdivision means, then I'll show you some simple exercises that you can practice at home on the drums, so that you apply this concept to the things that you're playing. So get seated at your drums, grab your sticks, because we're starting now. Do you really know how to practice subdivision? Some people know what the word means or what the concept is, but when I ask them, how do you practice that kind of thing on the drums, they often stare at me blankly and don't have any ideas. This concept is such an important thing to practice consciously. It makes you really good at going in and out of different rhythms. So that's a key thing that every drummer wants to be good at, right? Make sure you hit that red subscribe button and click the bell so that you get a notification every time we have a new video. You don't have to be really good at math to understand the idea of subdivision. As long as you've eaten a pizza, then you can clearly understand this concept. When you have a pizza, you have one full pizza. If you cut that pizza in half to split it with a buddy, well, you've just subdivided it into two. That means you've taken one thing and split it into two equal parts. See, it's pretty simple. Now the trick is, how do we apply that concept to music and to rhythms? Well, just remember that rhythms are an expression of a value of time. So if you think of the space from one beat to the next as a whole pizza, well, that's what you're subdividing. You're taking one beat of time and breaking it up into equal parts. The first thing we need to do is take two rhythms that are not related and practice going back and forth between them. So we're going to start in this video by playing eighth notes and then triplets. Now this is tricky because when you're playing eighth notes, it's very difficult to hear what the triplet subdivision would sound like. The same is true in reverse. If you're playing triplets, it's pretty difficult to hear exactly the tempo that eighth notes need to be played. So we're going to practice doing this in a few different ways. Here's the first exercise. We're going to apply this concept to a simple groove pattern, just by taking the time you're playing on the hi-hats or the ride cymbal and changing it from eighth notes to triplets. So what we're going to do is take a simple groove pattern with the kick on 1 and 3 and the snare on 2 and 4. Most people would call this the money beat when you're playing it with eighth notes on the hi-hats. Play this eighth note groove pattern for 2 measures, then I want you to change the rhythm on the hi-hats to triplets and play it for another 2 measures. So altogether, we're playing a repeating 4-measure exercise. We're going to practice this at 60 BPM so that you can get a really good handle on it at a slow tempo. Once you've nailed it, then try it at different tempos with a metronome. Here's what it should look and sound like. So now that you're feeling pretty good about these 2 rhythms, what do we do next? The next logical step is to apply the same concept to a basic drum fill. We're going to start off with the first exercise from this lesson. You can find the full lesson at Simpledrummer.com. In this exercise, we're going to play eighth notes on the snare drum for the first 2 beats, then we'll play triplets for beats 3 and 4. Now I want you to play on the snare drum first so that we can focus on the accuracy of the 2 rhythms that you're playing. So we're going to play an eighth note groove pattern starting with the crash cymbal for 3 measures. Once you get to the 4th measure, then I want you to play the drum fill on the snare. Pay attention to the downbeat on the crash after you've played the drum fill. That's going to let you know if your triplets were too slow or too fast. You want to calculate it so that you land on the downbeat spot on. We're going to practice this exercise at 60 BPM, nice and slow, so that you can be sure that you're playing these two rhythms accurately. Here's what it's going to look and sound like. I love to hear real musical examples of the stuff that we study and learn. So if you can think of a song that has an interesting combination of an eighth note and triplet subdivision, let us know in the comments. Learning drummers love to check out these concepts in action. I'm going to show you the first orchestration example that comes from the full lesson. So here we've got one rhythm, one variation. In the full lesson, you have over 20 rhythms and 6 different variations to try. We're going to start off by playing the first 2 beats on the snare, so those are your eighth notes. Then we're going to be splitting up beats 3 and 4 between a rack tom and the floor tom. If you think about your single stroke sticking, then you should know that moving to the floor tom on the 4, you have to go left hand first. I want you to try the same exercise that we did before. Same groove pattern, same 4 measures, everything. This time, we're just orchestrating the fill. You'd be amazed how this can skew the timing a little bit because you're now thinking about your sticking and where you're going. We're going to try this exercise at 60 BPM, just like we did with all the others. That's our starting point. We want to lock this down at a nice slow tempo first. Once you've practiced this exercise enough that none of that throws you off and you can play this fill right in the pocket, you're ready to practice with other groove patterns and increasing the tempo with the metronome. You want to feel comfortable going between your eighth notes and triplets at any tempo, slow, medium, fast, and everything in between. If you click the link in the description and head over to simpledrummer.com, you'll find that the full lesson has over 20 different exercises and multiple variations for you to practice each rhythm. The lesson also comes with looping practice videos, so you can hit play and practice with me for as long as you'd like. There's a progress tracker, a built-in metronome, everything that you need. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, make sure you've subscribed, share it with a friend, and all that kind of stuff. Let's help connect this information with the people who need it. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I'm Kevin from simpledrummer.com, and I'll see you next time.